Last night, as you may have heard, the FBI raided Trump's Mar-a-Lago home and office, and I'm sure you've heard a lot about it. If you found this video, I'm sure you have dug quite a bit into this topic. I'm imagining that this video is going to be rather obscure, so grateful that you found me. I hope that you appreciate this video. I do have a few things to talk about, a few bullet points I want to talk about. But in additional news, let's see, Representative Scott Perry also had his cell phone taken today by the FBI. He was traveling with his family when 3 FBI agents visited him and seized his cell phone. They made no attempt to contact his lawyer. Um, and Representative Scott Perry says that his lawyer would have made arrangements for them to have his phone if that was their wish, and he says he's outraged. So the highlight here that I wanted to take away is that Representative Perry has been subject of scrutiny by the House Select Committee investigating the January 6, 2021 attack at the Capitol. The committee issued a subpoena to Perry, but he refused to cooperate with the panel. So it's interesting that the FBI is going after Representative Perry the day after they go after President Trump, when they say they go after Trump because of the National Archives issue, but they're going after Representative Perry because of his cell phone and his lack of compliance with the subpoena with the January 6th hearing. And that, to me, says that something's going on here with the January 6th committee. I suspect that there's more to the Trump warrant than what we are aware of. I suspect that there has something to do with the January 6th hearing, and I do think that the FBI was really after January 6th material in hopes to incriminate President Trump. Speaking of incriminating President Trump, Trump's real estate appraiser hands over thousands of documents to New York Attorney General in civil probe. He had to turn over, I think it was like, the numbers here, 36,000 documents. I don't think that's 35,867 documents. And the civil court is fining Trump's organization $10,000 a day. I want to make sure that is Trump's organization. So New York Supreme Court Justice Arthur Engoron had found Cushman and Wakefield in contempt last month for not producing documents in State Attorney General Letitia James' civil probe into the Trump organization's business practice. So it's actually Cushman and Wakefield that are being fined $10,000 a day, and that's why they turned over these documents. They're now looking at suing President Trump. So I mean, this guy can't catch a break. His home is invaded by the FBI in an unprecedented search and seizure that's never happened in this country before. We'll talk more about that here in a bit. All of his real estate documents, 36,800 plus of them, are being turned over to the FBI or to Congress. I think these are being turned over to Congress. Yeah, I can't see if it is Congress, but I did read that earlier. But New York AG and civil probe. So I mean, that's a huge deal. The FBI is taking cell phones from representatives. He says that most of that information on there is personal, between communications of him and his family, and privileged information from his attorney, from his work in the Congress. And of course, you have the search and seizure of information at Trump's home and office last night or this morning. I guess people are saying it was this morning, but I could have sworn it was last night. I made a video about it. Well, I texted people about it I made a video about it. It must have been like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock or something. So I don't know why people are saying it happened in the morning, but unless it happened Monday morning. But the FBI needs to be abolished. Honestly, the FBI is explicitly biased and needs to be destroyed. Like, they're only going after conservatives. They didn't go after Hillary Clinton for worse than what they're going after Donald Trump for, or worse than what they say they're going after Trump for. Biden says he was unaware of the raid before it happened. I'm not sure if I buy that. He may be unaware when it was scheduled, but I suspect that he may have known ahead of time. I mean, maybe he wouldn't tell Biden, though, because he would just he's so brain dead that you just don't want him to know. So maybe that is pretty legit that he didn't know anything about it. But what I do think is interesting here is that the reason that the FBI didn't go after Hillary Clinton when she had her 32,000 emails subpoenaed and then deleted when they were containing classified documents on a local server. So the exact situation that the FBI went after Trump for, they didn't go after Hillary Clinton for when she had it significantly worse. The reason they didn't go after her is because of 18 U.S. Code Section 2071. And I'm going to read that with you right now. It reads, whoever willfully or unlawfully conceals, removes, mutilates, obliterates, or destroys, or attempts to do so, or with the intent to do so, takes and carries away any record, proceeding, map, book, paper, document, or other thing filed or deposited with any clerk or officer of any court of the United States, or in any public office, or with any judicial or public officer of the United States, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years, or both. Whoever having the custody of any such record, proceeding, map, book, document, paper, or other thing, willfully or unwillfully conceals, removes, mutilates, obliterates, falsifies, or destroys the same, shall be fined under the title or imprisoned not more than 3 years, or both, and shall forfeit his office and be disqualified from holding any office under the United States. That's it. That is what they're going for. That's what the FBI wants to happen. Can you imagine the FBI wanting anything other than this to happen? Okay, you know in your heart that the FBI is corrupt. I know it. You know it. The FBI knows it. The mainstream media knows it. My wife knows it, and she's not even involved in politics at all. Okay, we all know it, and we're all just pretending like it's not true. My friend whose dad is an FBI agent knows it. We all know that they're corrupt. We all know that they go in one direction. They only ever go in one direction, and they will only ever go in one direction. They need to be destroyed. The FBI should be abolished. We don't need an FBI, okay? What we need police, we need sheriffs, we need communication between the states with investigative officials. That's it. That's all we need, okay? And then we can have different departments doing their own investigations. For example, what's going on with the leak at the Supreme Court is being handled by the Supreme Court Marshal. Okay? That's how everything should be done. We don't need the FBI. They're corrupt. They're biased. They only go in one direction. They are explicitly destroying this country. Okay? Do you think that you're more likely to trust the voting process after yesterday? Or are you less likely to trust it? There's nothing that they have for us that they do. They only serve to destroy the country. They are a net negative. They only do bad things, and they honestly need to be destroyed. They didn't go after Hillary Clinton specifically for this purpose. They wanted her to run against President Trump. She was the strongest candidate that they had. Then what was it? Then candidate Trump, but they that's why they didn't go after Hillary Clinton, and that is exactly why they're going after him today. They also, I'm sure, are looking to leak stuff to the January 6th committee. That's what all of this is about. It's about destroying the conservatives. It's about destroying the GOP. That's what the FBI exists for. It exists solely to destroy the GOP, and the IRS is going to exist solely to investigate or to audit conservatives. I looked at a map today. I don't have it to pull up and show you, but the majority of audits in the United States are done in conservative states, and California is the exception. But I mean, the least populated states in the country have the most audits going on. That seems completely disgusting. And they want to hire 87,000 more IRS agents with weapons. Do you think that people are more likely to pay taxes now after seeing how overtly corrupt and biased the FBI is? Do you think that there might be some crazy person that's like, well, I'm not going to pay my taxes anymore. IRS is going to show up and shoot him dead. That's where we're going. This is a prelude to civil war. How can this be resolved in any way that isn't violent? Okay, it can be resolved in one way that isn't violent, and that is conservatives taking over the government and destroying the FBI, abolishing it completely. I don't see any other way that it can resolve. Other than that, it will just continue to escalate. And when it escalates, it will escalate into violence. And if you hate violence, which I do, you will do everything in your power to avoid it, understanding that violence can be necessary. Like if you need to defend your family, defend your wife against a home invader, violence is necessary to do that sometimes, okay? You avoid it by installing a lock, a security system, but you buy a gun just in case there is no avoiding the violence. But when you have to, then you want to win, okay? That's where I'm at right now. I will do everything I can to avoid the violence, and that includes abolishing the FBI. I don't think that there's any other way. What's really interesting about this whole situation is that the ability to control who can and can't run for president based on their documents is a power greater than any other authority in the United States. Furthermore, the single authority with this power has proven itself to be discriminatory. Okay, the FBI is the only organization in the United States that can say you can or you can't run for president depending on whether they have classified documents, which for administrative errors, I bet you more than half of political officials that ran in office before have classified documents in their possession. I bet you President Obama has some somewhere. And if you raided his home and you took every single document out of his home, I bet you'd find at least 2 classified documents. Okay? Just because of administrative errors. Hillary Clinton was found to be extraordinarily careless with the handling of her classified documents. They didn't go after her. What we need to take away is that we can't be cynical when dealing with truth. Truth can be found in a righteous society. Okay? If you fear God, if you are just, if you are righteous, you can tell what truth is and what truth is not. Okay? The truth is that we all need to gather together and pray for our enemies, the Democrats, the Chinese, the Russians, and pray for those who are being victimized, okay, which would be the Taiwanese and the Ukrainians, specifically the Ukrainians. If we're praying for our enemies and our enemies' enemies, and every Chinese and Russian citizen knew we were praying for them, and if all the Democrats knew we were praying for them, they would treat us very differently. They would still be our enemies, but they would treat us very differently. Okay? So if you want to improve the world that you live in, and people are always asking people at the Daily Wire or at Tim Pool, Timcast, how can I contribute to politics? Well, the easiest and most effective solution is pray tonight for your enemies. You will be able to discern what is true and what is false going forward. That's my closing video for you today. I'm sorry I didn't produce more. I wanted to, but I had a headache, and I ended up getting quite I wasn't able to do as much as I wanted. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it wasn't too crazy for you. Leave a like if you liked it, and leave a dislike if you didn't like it. I learned either way. I'm trying to improve myself. I'm trying to get better at this. This is still very rough for me, and I'm sure you noticed that in this recording. There will be more videos tomorrow, and I will be producing a lot more videos. So if you're interested, please subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but it's just something that I'm trying to do. I'm having fun with this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.